Hey everyone, good evening. It's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You, and I'm so happy to be with you tonight. I am excited to share with you a new yarn from Universal Yarns called Truva. It is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to show it to you. First thing I want to just tell you about it is that it is a beautiful blend of cashmere and cotton. So this is totally a luxury yarn. Um, the feel of it is so soft. I have this little ball that we've had at the shop for a bit and kind of been feeling it. And this is the one that I swatched with, and it is just beautiful. Hi, Gwen. Nice to see you. So let me go ahead and get started and tell you kind of all about it. So worsted weight. The ball band on this yarn says that it is best knit at a gauge of 19 to 21 stitches per 4 inches. So that's a gauge that I love. And, even though it is a luxury yarn, at that gauge, it kind of goes a little further. So do you know what I mean? And the other thing I want to tell you about it is it has beautiful stitch definition and it's so lightweight. So there's a lot to recommend this yarn. Let me show you the reason that we bought this. So we had been walking past a lot of the booths at H&H this past summer, and we saw the most gorgeous picture. So they didn't even have the garment there at that point, but there was just this photograph of this design. Let me show this to you real quick because I think it was amazing. Look at this beautiful garment, right? So it's just gorgeous. I'll show you the front later on, but we just had to stop and say, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" So it was so beautiful. Hey everybody. Hey Eveline. Hey Sandy. Hi Susan. Hey Polly. Penny. Nice to see you. Oh, from British Columbia. My goodness. Pleasure to have you. Okay. So anyway, is a new company to us. We hadn't planned on bringing in any new lines, but we stopped when we saw that picture. Turns out that it's the same company that distributes those beautiful leather bags, the mood bags that we have in the shop. So beautiful. So anyway, we were super excited to see that, and I really loved talking to the owner and the designer, and kind of talked about the shop a little bit. And she said, "You're gonna love this yarn." And it happened to be the same yarn that we saw in the picture. So we were super excited about it. Anyway, it is called Truva. And I did a little presentation for you here. So let me share this with you. All right. So this is the garment that we fell in love with. And basically, here's the yarn. Comes in 50-gram balls, and it is 164 yards per 50 grams. So what that means is, it's really light. Cashmere is a very light fabric. It's a light fiber. I'm going to put myself in here. So yeah, cashmere is a really light fiber. So it gives you a lot of yardage, right? And mixed with the cotton, it just makes this beautiful, soft, and wonderful fabric. Like I said, 19 stitches per 4 inches, just beautiful. And of course, I put that to the test. So let's have a look at this real quick. Okay, so here is the swatch that I did. I actually did a whole big swatch. I did it on, bunch of different needle sizes. But let me go ahead and show you what I did. So when the gauge is recommended to be something like 19 on a 6 or a 7, I'm always going to start with something much smaller. So this I started on a US 4, and you can see I did 4 little purl stitches to tell you that it's a 4. And I really liked the fabric at this gauge. It's very plushy. It doesn't feel stiff or anything. I think it would be pretty hard to make cashmere and cotton feel stiff, but it's a really lovely fabric. And at this gauge, on these needles, I got 23 stitches over 4 inches. And that was, like I said, this is a very nice gauge for this fabric. Then I went up a needle size. This is a 5. And then I went up to a 6. And here on a 6, this is the recommended, whoops, where am I? Yeah, okay. This right here, this is the 6, right? Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So here on the 6 at the recommended gauge, I got 22 stitches over 4 inches. So that's a little bit tighter than what you might, what might be recommended on the ball band. But I think this is a beautiful fabric at this point. You know, it doesn't feel too loose. It feels nice. And then right here, this is a 7, a US 7. I did this on a 7, and this gave me 20 stitches over 4 inches. So let me back the camera up a little bit so you can see. I think the fabric here is maybe just a smidge looser than I might want, a little drapier. And then on an 8, I got 18 stitches per 4 inches. So this is the 7, and I got 20. So the fabric at 20 is really, really nice. And then here on the 8, the fabric is it got about 18 and a half stitches to 4 inches. And I think the fabric is maybe a little, like I said, a little drapier than I might want it to be. Can you see? Let me bring this up just a smidge more. All right, camera issues. Here we go. All right, so this is the 9 and this is the 8. So at a gauge of 18 stitches, which is a little under the recommended gauge, you can see that it starts to get a little bit floppy, right? Here on the 7, it's just almost exactly 20. And I think this is really nice. This is a nice wearable gauge. And then, of course, a little tighter. Now, why does this all matter? Okay, why does it matter? First of all, this is a luxury yarn, okay? It's not inexpensive. With 50% cashmere, it's going to be a little pricey. So, you know, the tighter the gauge, the more yarn you're going to use. So I like to swatch luxury yarns to see how loose I can knit them without them losing their structural integrity so that the yarn goes further. Do you know what I mean? I just want to make sure that you're maximizing your money when you're making a sweater out of something like this, that you're not knitting it unnecessarily tight. I know for many of you, money is no object, but for me, I like to watch things like that. So anyway, I do think it's good at 20 stitches. I think it's pretty good at 18, but as you can see, I went ahead and did another little bit right here on a US 9, and it probably isn't sweater material for me. You see, I don't know that it would really hold its shape the way I would want a sweater to do. Now, that's not important if you're making an accessory. You know, if you're making an accessory, all you care about is kind of, you know, maybe you want to block it big. Maybe you want a whole lot of drape in it. But so that's just kind of an exploration of the gauge of this yarn. So let's talk a little bit about what the two fibers being worked together in this yarn, what they do and what that looks like. So if you look, I'm going to hold this kind of close up. You can see that the two fibers take the dye kind of differently. So you get almost a marled, heathery kind of effect. It's not necessarily as noticeable in this particular colorway, but when I show you the other colors on the little presentation, I think you will have a better sense of it. So the two yarns, the two fibers in there are rather plied together rather than completely carded and combed together. So both the cotton and the cashmere sort of show up in the twist. You can see them together, and that's what gives the yarn such a really lovely texture and effect. And a lot of times it's not busy, it's not like you have two different colors that are applied together. You just have sort of this shaded effect, which I think is very, very pretty. Still get great stitch definition. You can see again here, I have the garter stitch and a stockinette. You can still see the stitches very clearly. So it's perfect for one of the projects that we're going to be featuring. So we are featuring this actually in our first Friday, our October 1st Friday project, which Ginny is doing. It's a knit along for a really, really cute cowl that just shows you all these different stitches in there. It's almost like a sampler, but cute, much more stylish. So, okay, let me show you this again. All right. Okay, so these are just kind of the basics. I showed you the fabric at gauge, and these are the colors. So it comes in 8 really pretty colors. There's this medallion, this harbor blue. I think this is called sandcastle, chambray, oceanside, crocus, mandarin, and Aegean. So a very pretty palette. I think that's a really nice palette. Here are the colors close up. So you can see what I'm saying about how the yarn take the two different colors, the two different fibers take kind of a different, take the dye differently and give you this effect. Cashmere itself has a little bit of a brownish tint. It's not perfectly white, while cotton is perfectly white. And here are the other 4 colors. I think it's especially pretty in this kind of peach color and the purpley pink, how you get the shading in there. I think that's really, really effective. What are your thoughts? Do you like it so far? Okay, so let's look at the designs for this project. Okay, so there's a whole collection of patterns, and it's called the Inline Collection. On the line, here we go. So this is a set of 5 patterns. It's an ebook that you can buy for, through Ravelry. And I'm going to show you this one first because this is the one that I just fell in love with. It's called Brie. I love this open back. I know it's probably not for everybody, but as Ginny said when she saw it, she would just make 2 fronts, and you can absolutely do that. You can make 2 fronts and, just seam them together. But it's so cute. Look at that. With that little turtleneck. I think this fiber is a perfect kind of transitional fiber, with the cotton and the cashmere. It's great for fall and spring when you want something that's, warm but not too heavy. So really pretty. Look at the way the stitches show up in this. This is the sandcastle colorway. There's something to me very appealing about this kind of open back in there. Yeah. I think the yarn is lovely too. So isn't this cute? It's got this little bit of a kind of a tie thing in the back. Lots going on here. Super cute. Wait a minute. I got out of there before I was ready. So there's the whole thing. And this is a long-ish garment. You can see it goes down to kind of mid-hip on her. And this one takes 6 or 7 skeins. But just very, very pretty. All right. So there's that one. All right, any crocheters out there? This is called Yasha, and this is a crocheted garment in that same, in the Truva. I don't always love crocheted clothing, but this is an exception. I think this is absolutely lovely. We saw this in person. And as I said when I was talking about the fabric at the different gauges, the yarn has a lovely drape. So even though it's crocheted, which can sometimes get a little stiff, this was a beautiful soft garment. So I think this is a beautiful, lovely crocheted item. Also long. We met the designer who did this, and she was just wonderful. Very talented. Super cute. There's a close-up of the crochet. I think that's really pretty. Tempts me to start crocheting. Yay, Kelly. All right. Would you make this one, Kelly? Do you like it? Okay, so let's see if the others are in here. Okay, this is the one that that Ginny and Mary fell in love with, and this is the garment that we're featuring for the first Friday. It's a beautiful cowl. It takes 3 skeins. We have this put together as a kit online, and if you get the newsletter, you saw this featured in there. It's really pretty. This one is shown in the Harbor Blue. And this is one of those things I was talking about in the newsletter about being a beginner again. You know, you look at something like this and you think, oh, it's so simple with just knits and purls. But do you see how they've got this little bit of seed stitch? You've got this little bit of traveling rib, lots of different things going on. And it really is going to be instructive for beginners to learn all the different stitch patterns and to kind of help you read your knitting. I think this would be also a fun thing if you're already an experienced knitter to just kind of play with those stitch patterns. And it is charted, so I think that's really very pretty. This would be a great gift for someone on your gift list. This one is called Mara. And the patterns are also available individually on Ravelry if there's just one that you like and not all of them. All right, what else is in that book? Okay, full-on sweater in that beautiful pink. I love this. This is actually worked in 2 colors. This is the mandarin on the bottom and the crocus on the top, which is fun. Can you imagine how nice this would feel on your skin? You don't have to do this in 2 different colors if you don't want to. You could absolutely do this in a single color, but it's just kind of fun and playful. The bodice of it is worked in seed stitch. Seed stitch is going to be one of those fabrics that shows your stitches very nicely, your texture and everything else. So that would be a nice one. Doesn't she look so cute and relaxed in that? I would make that. Very fun. Okay, and then the last one from this collection is this accessory. It's a big shawl. Super easy, but also fun with that texture. This is shown in the Aegean. I know I have a lot of green lovers out there. Beautiful. Any accessory knitters? Yeah, I think this is really pretty. I like the way they've styled it too with that kind of slip dress. Let's have a look at that. So they've worked that at 21 stitches. So that's still going to be a very nice kind of firm fabric. Firm-ish, right? Okay. All right, where are we? Had some other, here we go. Okay, so there are also some free patterns for this yarn, which I think is really nice. This one, little hat, So you could do this with just one skein of the Truva. And this is a free pattern on the Universal website. So if you just wanted to have, indulge yourself just a little bit, a little hat like that, super cute. Let's see that in full screen. That would knit up pretty fast. You like it? Who would make that hat? All right. And then this one is also on the Universal website. Little vest, worked in that medallion colorway. This would be a nice transitional piece. You could wear it over something, or you could actually wear it next to your skin, just as a little top for this summer. Remember Trisha Malcolm saying that vests are the new shawl. Terry would make the hat. Yeah. All right, so I think that one's cute. That one takes, let's see, 5, 6, 7 skeins. So not so bad. And then these cute little headband and mitt set. I think this might be crocheted. Hang on a second. Yep, this is crocheted. So here you go, Kelly. Another fun little crocheted accessory. Yeah, this would make a really nice gift. Very luxurious feeling. I think that's pretty. And those are all free patterns on the website. So anyway, I really like this yarn. I think it's really soft. I think it's beautiful. I will tell you that for a sweater, it's definitely going to be a little pricey. It is nice. It's probably most realistically affordable in the cowl. So that Mara Cowl that we're featuring takes 3 balls. We have it as a kit. And I really think that that's the kind of thing that this particular yarn would be perfect for. You get into 6, 7, 8 skeins of this yarn, it's going to cost quite a bit. And don't get me wrong, it's absolutely lovely and it would be a beautiful, luxurious thing. But if that's not your jam and you're looking for something that's probably a little more affordable, I would say definitely do a little hat, a little neck scarf. The cowl is a beautiful option. So that's what I'm thinking. Oops, that's what I'm thinking about for it. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Polly says, good for gifts. Yep. All right. Awesome. So that is what I wanted to share with you tonight. And I hope you enjoy this little look at our new yarn, Truva. And we do have this in the shop. And if you are local and you want to come by, and I have it on needles, if you want to knit with a little bit or see the swatch, I would love to share it with you. So thanks for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week. Have a great evening.